Today from Tropicana Field, the Red Sox, who have dropped 5 of their last 7, are in a position they are forced to do something they haven't had to do all season. That's avoid a sweep. Hi, everybody. Welcome back inside Tropicana Field. Great to have you on this Sunday. I'm Dave O'Brien. My partner, Steve Lyons. Garen Austin joining us in just a couple of moments as well. And, Steve, this unusual time for the Red Sox. They have not played well, certainly not in this series, trying to avoid a 3-game sweep and facing one of the best young pitchers in the game.
That's what's going to make it so difficult. But, you know, this team has been able to rise to the occasion on so many times, play up to their competition. They're going to have to do that today. Blake Snell is one of the best in the business right now. Look at the ERA, 2.07. That's third best in all of baseball. The record's 15-5, but it could be way better than that because a lot of times this team doesn't score him any runs. He's got excellent pitch mix, all 4 pitches he can throw for a strike at any time in the count, so it's not going to be easy today.
Well, he's been very, very tough against the Red Sox in 3 starts already this season. Red Sox trying to avoid a 3-game sweep. They have lost a series for the first time since July 1. They need Nathan Eovaldi today to pitch the way he did on August 4th against the Yankees at Fenway Park, where he locked them down. Red Sox and the Rays coming up in a moment. Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Amica Insurance, auto, home, and life insurance that always puts you first. Rodenheiser Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electric. The all-new Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever this summer. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Sox and the Rays to wrap up the 3-game series. Time to get downstairs to Garen Austin on the field. Hey, Garen.
Hi, Obie. Well, for the first time since July 1st, the Red Sox lost a series. And after the game, Rick Porcello was blunt. Now, he called himself out first, but he said overall the whole team played sloppily. Here's more from Porcello.
If I do some things better, keep that game at 1-1 or even 2-1 through the 6th, and get our relievers lined up where they should be, and give our offense a chance to work, then we got it. We're in business. But again, started with myself. Some sloppy mistakes out there. There were some good things, there were some bad things, but the sloppiness on my part and the rest of us really showed through tonight, and we need to clean that up, especially against teams that are playing good baseball. We're not just going to roll in and beat guys because we're the Boston Red Sox. We got to play.
The Red Sox own MLB's highest win percentage in day games, but they will have a challenge facing Blake Snell. And when we return, Nathan Eovaldi will be on the mound here at Tropicana Field for the series finale. And Dave O'Brien and Steve Lyons have the call. Stay with us.
Franklin Sports, the official batting glove of Major League Baseball and the Red Sox. Your local New England Ford dealers. Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Left-hander Blake Snell carrying 15 wins onto the mound today. Here's the Red Sox lineup he will battle. Brought to you by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. JD Martinez has the day off. So does Andrew Benintendi. So it's Betts, Nunez, Bogarts 1, 2, 3. Pierce is the DH. Mitch Moreland at first. Kinsler at second. Brock Holt in the outfield with Sandy Leon doing the catching and Jackie Bradley in center field. Taking on the 15-5 Blake Snell, a 2.07 ERA. That is number 2 in the American League behind only Chris Sale.
Let's check into the defense here that Red Sox are going to see from your Tampa Bay Rays. Around the infield, third base, starting with Duffy, Adames, Wendell at second, Bauer's back in the lineup at first. In the outfield, Pham, Kiermaier, and Lau. Pitching and catching today, we talked about it already. Perez behind the plate against the very tough lefty, Blake Snell.
Your umpires brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Todd Titchener behind the plate. Manny Gonzalez, Angel Hernandez, Alan Porter on the bases. We're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by Toyota. Visit copper2toyota.com to see Toyota deals not seen on TV. So set for game 3. The Red Sox have not been swept this season, and they have never had a full season without a sweep. Mookie Betts trying to get going. His batting average at .335, but he's been skidding and is 0 for 7 in the series.
He's lost his aggressiveness at the plate, especially in this series. He has taken 6 of 9 first pitch strikes to him in this series.
Alex Cora would like to see that change to attack early if he gets a pitch to drive. So Snell ready to go. First one will be ball 1. We're underway. Snell 2-0 in 3 starts against the Red Sox with a 0.95 ERA. He's been as tough as anybody against the Sox this year. 97 with that fastball for a strike.
That's what we talk about right there too. We saw the first pitch was a little bit of a changeup. Second pitch on a 1-0 pitch, fastball down the middle. Mookie not swinging.
They do appeal, but no swing. He's hit lefties to the tune of 350. Nunez on deck. Two and 2.
98. One of the things that makes Snell so tough is his secondary pitches. 4 pitches he can throw for a strike anytime he feels like it. On top of the 98.
And a high pop up into foul ground down the right field line. Lau giving a long run, sliding, and he can't get it. Almost made a magnificent play.
Went a long way to get that one. We told you last night it was his first start ever in right field. So this is number 2. He's looking at the wall. He knows he's going to have to slide. Had it, hit him right off the heel of his glove.
Not an impossible play.
Now, you know, I mean, most outfielders would tell you if I get there, I should catch it. That's the easy part.
2-2. That'll be in there for strike 3. 98 miles an hour. Mookie Betts punches out. One man gone.
This one just fooled Mookie. Pretty good pitch. He's not arguing. He knows it's a strike. He just couldn't pull the trigger.
Red Sox missed Snell last weekend when Tampa Bay visited Fenway. Nunez to climb in at 260 with 7 home runs. There are just 30 games left on the schedule for the regular season after today. Red Sox coming into play with a 7-game lead on the Yankees. They play tonight on Sunday Night Baseball against Baltimore.
You know, when you rattle off the impressive numbers of a guy like J.D. Martinez in the season he's having this year, or when you talk about Chris Sale, these Tampa Bay Rays do the exact same thing when you're talking about Blake Snell. He has numbers off the charts this season. Outside of Chris Sale, he may be the other best lefty in the game right now.
He has the #2 ERA in the American League, 2.07. He's #2 in batting average allowed. Teams are only hitting 182 off him. Both of those numbers trailing only Chris Sale in the American League. In there for a strike to make it 3-1. Bogart's next. No word yet on when Chris Sale might return. Red Sox are being very cautious with the lefty, saying only he is making progress. High fly ball left center field. That's deep. Kiermaier racing back to the track. He's got it. Nunez hit it to the wrong spot, the deepest part of the ballpark for out #2.
We've seen that a couple times in this series. Mookie Betts hit a ball right in that same spot that they couldn't get out. Nooney hammered that ball. It's a long way. Kiermaier, look where he's playing. To the opposite field, and look at the distance he covers, and it's not even a tough play for him.
2 down for Xander Bogaerts. He'll check in at 285, 19 homers. He's driven in 84. He's one guy who has had a good series for the Sox. He's 4 for 8.
You think about how much Snell loves pitching at home. He's had 13 straight home starts where he's given up 1 earned run or fewer. My goodness, that is domination.
Up the middle, but that's exactly where Wendell is. Behind the bag, and he throws him out. And the Red Sox with a 1-2-3 start here this afternoon. Brought to you by your local Nissan dealers. Joey Wendell hitting .291 leads things off. Matt Duffy .296 right after him. Ji-Man Choi is the DH with Pham in left. Bauer's the first baseman. He's in a deep slump. Kiermaier hitting just .198 but better lately. Adames at short. Lau is in right field. That's how he pronounces it. And Michael Perez does the catching and bats ninth against the Red Sox starter. Presented by New England Audi dealers. Nathan Eovaldi 5-5, a 3.81 ERA. He was brilliant for the Sox right after the trade from these Tampa Bay Rays, going 2-0, but since then his longest outing has been 5 1/3.
I'm certainly familiar with pitching down here. He was a member of this ball club.
Wendell to lead it off. Since the start of July, he's hitting almost .340. They got a lot of guys who are cooking right now with the bat.
Some good-looking young players. Everyone tried to write this ball club off, and I think after they got rid of some dead weight and some guys they didn't want around here anymore, they're letting these guys blossom.
Floated down the line. Holt with a play, and that's going to drop in. He could not make the catch. That's going to bounce to the side fence and into second base. Wendell, and Brock Holt had trouble with that one as it fell in.
That was a very strange play. You got to think that maybe Brock Holt lost that ball on his way to going to get it. Watch if he takes his eye off the ball. He looks down, but that's where the ball's going at the time. I think he just couldn't get there, and he wasn't sure how big the bounce was going to be, and then it spun away from him after it hit the turf.
So it'll be a double for Wendell. And bring up Matt Duffy, 296 with 4 home runs. Eovaldi took the losses last time out 6-3 to Cleveland. Gave up 10 hits and 5 1/3. Here's another thing that has really popped in this series. You and I both noticed it, how aggressive they are against every Red Sox pitcher.
They go up hacking, and you talk about first pitch swinging, and they're doing damage on first pitches, and that's something that the Red Sox starters and relievers have to adjust to as well.
Well, it's the way the Red Sox have played all season. Rick Porcello touched on it, I thought, in his comments after the game, after first calling out his own performance. Rick Porcello is nothing if not a stand-up guy. And he said the Red Sox performance so far, and really 5 of the last 7 games, he said, should teach us we have got to come and play no matter what. Here's the quote. He said, started with myself, some sloppy mistakes out there, some good things, some bad things. The sloppiness on my part and the rest should really show through tonight. We need to clean that up. We're not just going to roll in and beat guys because we're the Boston Red Sox. We got to play.
Well said.
High chop. Eovaldi can't make the play. Xander Bogaerts will have to hang on to it. That's going to be a base hit for Duffy, and they're on at first and third. Infield single for Matt Duffy.
Well, this is what you get when you're playing on the Tampa Bay turf. Slam it into the ground, let it bounce high in the air, and then run fast. Nobody can make that play. Look at Bogey charging as hard as he can. He's got to wait for a hop. No chance.
So the first 2 men have reached against Eovaldi. Brings up the designated hitter Ji-Man Choi, 261 with 5 home runs. On that last start, Alex Cora talked about Eovaldi giving up the 10 hits. He thought the Indians deserved a little more credit than they were getting for their approach, particularly how they went after his cutter. Alex thought he made some good pitches with that cutter that got hit hard anyway.
And he's going to have to do that again. We haven't really seen the great cutter that we saw in his first 2 starts. Nasty slider. It's even bigger.
The 0-1. Joy nowhere near that one. And the count 0-2.
Good change right there. Split finger. Late movement right there. Even Eovaldi said that he wanted to throw his fastball more to make that cutter and slider a little more effective. Throws 97. Run it in there.
Tommy Pham on deck. No score, but a threat right away for Tampa Bay. Up the middle and through for a base hit. A run is in. Wendell scores. Duffy heading for third. He'll stop there. Tampa Bay strikes. Choi is a little flamboyant on the RBI hit. He makes it 1-0.
Like to see guys that are having fun in the game today, especially the way the Rays have been playing in this series against the Red Sox. Hitting that ball just where nobody's standing, that gets you a run.
Rays on top 1-0. Pham next, 243. Good power. He's at 15 home runs between the Cardinals and Tampa Bay. Those are his numbers with the Rays since the trade. He belted a home run here last night.
You know, Dave, we talked a lot about Porcello and his up and down starts since the All-Star break. Last night was somewhere in between, I think. But I love to listen to Porcello after he wins games, but he's more prophetic when he loses games, and the accountability shows and his wants for this ball club. And I think he's the guy to kind of shoulder that stuff. One of the smartest pitchers you'll ever see. He's a very thoughtful guy, period.
Now, those are very mature comments, and I thought the Red Sox needed to hear those. That needed to be said in that clubhouse.
From someone like him.
0-2 up top.
You learn so much, really, when he has a rough day. When he has a great start, that's what we want to see. But he's not. He doesn't have much to say. He doesn't have to be all that reflective of it. Hey, I pitched the ball well. I did what I wanted to do. When he has a tough outing, you learn a lot about pitching and about who he is.
One, two, and that'll be in there for strike three. May have gotten a little something extra, but he needed that strikeout. One away.
Let's check into the Red Sox defense tonight, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. A little different look today. Nunez at third, Bogey at short, Kinsler at second base, Mitch Moreland making the start against the left-handed pitcher at first base, Brock Holt out in left field, Jackie Bradley back in center, Mookie Betts out there in right field, Sandy Leon behind the dish, catching Nathan Eovaldi. Let's get that last pitch right there. That's that cut fastball that we want to see a lot of movement. We got it, and he got the strike.
The slumping Bowers in as he takes a ball. There's 3 hits in his last 42 at bats.
That's a slump.
But Cash keeps putting him out there in the heart of the order, hoping that that'll flip.
Said he wasn't worried about him. Talked to him the other day. He's like, nah, he's fine. He'll be all right. You know, I like his swing. I like the things he's doing. He's just not being very lucky right now.
First and third. Red Sox will be heading home after this one, an off day on Monday. And then taking on the Marlins for a quick 2-game series on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then it'll be off to Chicago and Atlanta, and by then we're into the first week of September.
Dave, when you're a young player, especially when you're in the minor leagues and you have roommates and they're all playing well, like Bauer, he's scuffling right now. He has to come home and listen to his friends go 2 for 4 all day. That's tough. But he and Willy Adames are great friends. And earlier in the season, when Bowers was going off, Adames was scuffling. And now they've switched. Adames is having a lot of success right now, and Bauer's not doing anything. So they've actually been really good to pick each other up. Really good friends.
So he's saying to Adames, remember all those notes I left you? Yeah. When we dug you out of that skid? Can I have those back?
Remember when I came home happy every night?
3-1, 1 down, runners on at first and third, a run in on 3 consecutive hits to start the day for Tampa Bay.
It really is one of the situations in the game that's overlooked. You know, you got your best buddies, and they can only say so much to you when you're not going good.
That one ate him up. And a full count on Bowers. Kiermaier would be next.
That's a nasty pitch. You're looking for a fastball. Guess what you get? The cutter. Look at the movement on that, right into his back knee. Unreachable. He's got a good one so far tonight. Guess it is today, isn't it? Technically.
It sure is. All day, actually.
Until tonight.
Eovaldi just got Pham on strikes. This one a high fly ball right field deep. Betts back. Mookie on the track. He is there to make the catch. Tagging up. Here comes Duffy in to score. Bowers just missed one. He will pick up the RBI. 2-0 Tampa Bay.
Well, he's happy that there was a guy on third, so at the very least he gets the sacrifice fly out of this. I thought when he hit it, he thought he got it. I think that got just in on him. I think it was. Looks like that 89 miles an hour. I think that was his cutter again. Evaldi thinks he got it, but I think he just got it in on the handle just a little bit.
Kiermaier hitting just a .198 at the moment, but been swinging a better bat as of late. For the year, it's been a bit of a disaster, but he's been getting on lately. Yesterday, had that triple to lead off the 6th inning, and he scored the go-ahead run on a wild pitch. 391 in his last 6 games. And Evaldi just trying to get out of the inning without any more damage. He blew that one by him. So the Red Sox behind very quickly. Choi at first with 2 down. Here's the 0-2. And popped him up. And a play for Moreland. He calls off Leone, makes the catch to retire the side, but 2 up there right away for Tampa Bay. There, Blake Snell against the Red Sox, 2-0 with 19 strikeouts in 19 innings. Sox hitting just 169 against him. 3 up, 3 down in the 1st inning. Steve Pearce will battle against him here in the 2nd. Red Sox trailing 2-0.
In the early going here, I think Snell's throwing a fastball that can be hit. He's up around 97, 98, but he hasn't located that well. He's thrown a lot of them down the middle. It's only a matter of time before these guys get him, if he keeps throwing it there. Unfortunately, he's got 3 other pitches to go with it that are pretty nasty.
25-year-old. He's 6'4", about 200. He does everything right-handed except on the baseball field. Down to the dirt he did not go. They did appeal to Manny Gonzalez at first base, but no swing. And again, just a day off for J.D. Martinez. Alex Cora likes to give guys, when he can, 2 consecutive days. Tomorrow with the off day takes care of that.
Alex isn't a big, or JD isn't a big fan of 2 days off. I understand that too. Sometimes you feel like you've been away from the game too long, and he loves to play.
Also true of Andrew Benintendi. I don't think he's thrilled with it either, but It's worked to this point. It's hard to argue with that.
Hard to argue with 90 wins, isn't it?
It's not traditional. And I heard Jim Rice talking about it earlier, and Jim's a guy who loved to play every day and did. And believe me, Andrew Benintendi's a guy. Alex Kors said this a couple of weeks ago, you know, he's a tough negotiator. He doesn't want to have the time off. Mookie Betts is another guy he says really fights him on a day.
Sometimes as a player, you're the last guy to know that you need one.
That'll be up high, ball four. So the Red Sox have their first base runner. Pierce is on.
Tonight on the Ultimate Red Sox Show, we're going to look back at the best Red Sox moments from the past week. That's tonight at 5:30 on the Ultimate Red Sox Show, presented by Sam Adams. Sam Adams is the official beer of the Boston Red Sox.
Well, Mitch Moreland at 257, 15 home runs, batting with a base runner. Looking to do something he's never done before, and that's get a hit off Snell.
You probably shouldn't feel like the Lone Ranger on that. There's a lot of guys that don't have a lot of success.
He's 0 for 12. That'll miss just barely for ball one.
In his last start, Snell gave up a home run to a left-handed hitter. Just the second time in his career he had done that.
Mitch Moreland with a couple of home runs off left-handers. Kinsler on deck. Well, right now he's a little off. And the Red Sox trying to take advantage. 2-0 after ball four on Pierce. Red Sox home against the Marlins for 2. Brian Johnson on Tuesday night. David Price on Wednesday night. And then it'll be off to Chicago.
Kyle Snyder there keeping a watchful eye, the pitching coach here for Tampa. What a reputation he's developing.
2-1.
Former Red Sox pitcher. They credit him very much so to the development of Blake Snell. They had to send him down last August. That's when Kyle Snyder was the AAA pitching coach, and he turned him into what he is right now.
Pop in the mid at 97, 2-2.
This is a tough one to get on top of if you're a left-handed hitter. Up over the belt with some pretty good gas on it. There's your favorite camera angle from the catwalk.
Just not many places you can get that from. Here's the 2-2. Pop up into left field. Pham has it in a bit. One out. Ace Ticket has the best seats to all Red Sox games and concerts at Fenway. The prices and service better than you can imagine. Visit aceticket.com. I'm just happy that we've found a use for those catwalks.
Yeah, because there's nothing else. You should have about 6 or 7 cameras up there. Give us different angles of everything.
At times they're in play. At times it's a home run. At times it's a double. Ian Kinsler 241 with 13 home runs. Red Sox are still looking for the best in Ian Kinsler. He was hurt for a while with a hamstring injury. This is a guy who can turn around a fastball. Oh for 3 yesterday. Pierce on at first base, 1 down. And a lanky left-hander with the 1-0. Got that call and a changeup.
Well, I don't know if he deserved it. This is not a pitch you want to swing at, that's for sure. Changeup, it's not a strike. That's why you don't want to swing at it.
I think this crew, this umpiring crew, it's a big plate for every one of them. Swing and a miss. There goes Pierce collecting it. Perez, the throw down is going to be waiting for him, and he is out. That's the way things have been going for the Red Sox these days, as he is erased.
Not a bad decision initially, but Perez behind the plate is like a cat. Look how quickly he gets out there to get that ball, and he's got a gun back there. He's out by a mile. Pierce, good secondary lead. When he sees the ball in the dirt, he does an aggressive move right there. He just were better on the defensive end of it.
So 2 down. And a count 1-2 on Kinsler. Tampa Bay in front 2-0.
Now, you were talking about the strike zone and how big it is. I think that's a good thing for the game. We talked about it yesterday. When I was hitting, I don't think it was a good thing. But when you're sitting up here and when people talk about pace of play and how to speed games up, call more strikes.
That's in there for strike 3. 97 miles an hour. So in the end, the Red Sox bring up only 3 men in the inning. The 13 championship, and in game number 132, Red Sox topped the Dodgers 8-1. Salty, Shane Victorino, and Mike Napoli all went deep. Jake Peavy went all the way, went the distance, holding the Dodgers to 3 hits. A lot of good karma out of that season.
Yes, sir.
Well, the Sox are down here 2-0. Adames leading things off. 257 with 8 home runs. He's driven in 22. The Kid, his nickname here on this Players Weekend. You know, the Red Sox, this is the 2nd year of the Players Weekend. They have never won a game on the Players Weekend.
They're going to boycott.
They were swept by Baltimore in the Players Weekend last year. Kinsler off the dirt will set down Adames, 1 away.
On an all-new episode of Charlie Moore Outdoors, Charlie heads to Windermere, Florida. He's going to hang out with Johnny Damon, Roger Clemens, and Tim Wakefield. Wow, what a crew that is. At the 2018 Johnny Jams event to help raise money for the Johnny Damon Foundation. Catch it all on an all-new episode of Charlie Moore Outdoors tonight at 6 on NESN.
Brandon Lau, 195, no home runs since they brought him up.
Dave, I think Nathan did an outstanding job of limiting the damage in that first inning. He's had first and third with nobody out. Both those guys scored, but no one else. And that last pitch to Adames, you talk about a serious in your kitchen jam shot. That hurt me all the way up here.
1-1. Another play for Kinsler. A little bit of a bobble, but collection gets him. 2 up, 2 down. Time now for Thrive inside the numbers. Eovaldi in his career at the Trop, 6 starts, 2.97 ERA, a lot of strikeouts. He's never been a guy who walked many. He'll get the number 9 hitter, looking for a very quick second inning. Perez 284 with 1 home run. On Friday, Perez had a career-high 4 RBIs in game number 1. Best offensive game of his young career. And a strike.
There's some good movement on that cutter today. That went from one side of the plate to the other and caught the zone.
Past him, 98 to pop the mid.
This is a 4-seamer now.
Wendell on deck, 2-2. And crack foul. Are you with me on this, that part of what ails the Red Sox can be solved by Mookie Betts getting hot again?
I'm with you. Mookie has been scuffling, and this team usually jumps on his back.
Obviously, the Red Sox lately have felt the weight of the loss of Chris Sale. Mookie trying to get restarted as that's fouled at the plate. JD Martinez out of lineup today. He has not cooled off all season.
Obviously, you worry a little bit when you see a team play so well for so long and then they start to struggle a little bit. Every team struggles during the season. It's a long year. You can't play perfect baseball all season long. And this might be the one bump in the road for the Red Sox for a few games, and then they bounce right back and play again.
2-2 and a swing and a miss. He blew him away. 1-2-3 they go against Eovaldi. sky high, but another factor in our strong ratings is NESN availability. As you can see, there are more ways than ever to get NESN. To see a complete list of where to get NESN, check out getnesn.com. Steve Lyons, Dave O'Brien with you. 2-0 Tampa Bay. Top of the third. Brock Holt to lead it off. Looking for the first Red Sox hit against Blake Snell, a talented left-hander. In between innings, we're going to be talking with Tim Hires, Red Sox hitting coach. We'll get his scouting report on Snell too, and what the Red Sox are attempting to do with him today. Brock Holt, 265 with 3 home runs, getting the nod in left field. Going with Brock Star is the nickname.
Brock has fewer at-bats against left-handed pitching, but he actually has a better split against them. He's a .333 hitter against lefties. Just under 50 at-bats on the season.
He said, "I don't call myself Brock Star."
Nobody else does.
Just like the way it sounds. Can't blame him. 2-2. Sandy Leon on deck, and then Jackie Bradley.
There's those splits I was talking about right there. Tell you what, he'd give you a competitive at bat every time he steps in the box too.
And he will put him away. Did not get a fastball, got a hook to strike him out. Let's get down to Guerin.
Thanks, OB. Well, in 3 starts against the Red Sox this season, Blake Snell is 2-0 with an ERA under 1. And Alex Cora said of all the pitchers they faced this season, he's been one of the toughest. He said he's been great against us, but he's been great against everybody. And Cora said the first time he saw him this season, he thought, whoa, he's really developed in terms of his velocity and his secondary pitches. He said he's one of the best lefties right now. He's been great, and that whole team's been playing really well. Guys.
All right, Guerin, thank you very much. Leon hitting just over 200 with 5 home runs. Sandy starting today batting right-handed. He doubled and scored the game-winning run on Thursday. The Red Sox have dropped the first 2 here, losing a series for the first time since the 1st of July. Shortstop Adames will dig it. 2 down.
Tonight at 10 o'clock on NESN Sports Today, Jack Edwards is going to go one-on-one with Bruins head coach Bruce Cassidy. NESN Sports Today is presented by People's United Bank, where the technology is as helpful as the people.
Jackie Bradley is first at bat against Snell, 223 with 11 home runs. And he is 1 for 11 against this left-hander. Like he swung the bat, and he did. They appealed to the third base ump Porter. He said a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Sox have dropped 5 out of 7, but they had gone 17-3 before then.
JBJ gets a rare day off yesterday and then gets back in the lineup to face this guy. Thank you very much.
You walk into their clubhouse here at Tampa Bay, they've got a ping pong table in there, and Snell's the guy who bought that. He purchased that in the offseason. It's a big deal when they're playing in there. You don't want to get near that table.
It's like spring training with the Sox.
And he struck him out. He punched out 2 out of 3 in the inning. 2-0 Tampa Bay. We take a look at the road ahead now, presented by People's United Bank. Red Sox about to head home for the day off, and then Miami in Tuesday and Wednesday. Right back on the road to Chicago, and our first trip to the new Braves ballpark, including a day game on Monday at 1 o'clock and another one on Wednesday before a long homestand. So season long, but what are you doing to get Mookie back to being Mookie Betts?
Exactly. We need him back, but it's just a short period where I think he's expanding the zone a little bit. I always say you're only as good as the pitches you swing at, and so we just need him to get to swinging back at strikes, swinging at his pitch, and not trying to do too much with it.
I know you agree with me. The Snell kid is really impressive. What were the meetings like, focusing on specifically, especially given the fact he's been so good against the Red Sox a couple of previous times?
Yes, I think the guys were excited for the challenge. He's a guy who has really good stuff. He's top 5 in ERA in the league, and has that exploding fastball, as you see. So we've got to make sure we get him down, make sure we stay on top of the ball, and I think the guys are, they're fired up for the challenge, but we got to step it up a notch here to finish this out.
I know you are too. Tim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it very much.
No, thank you.
Tim Hires, Red Sox hitting coach, inside the dugout. Well, Snell has been impressive, as we figured he would early on, but it makes an interesting point there. The Red Sox being the Red Sox, and the way they have performed offensively, they are excited about the challenge. Even though you got some guys not swinging the bats very well, Mookie right there, they are excited about facing this guy.
Sure, and think on a day-to-day basis how excited and challenging it is for the teams that play against the Red Sox. They know how good they are, and so they bring in their A game no matter who they are. And when you're at the top of your game, you want to play against the other best players to see where you match up.
Sense of competition and going your best against their best. Right now the Red Sox scuffling offensively as a whole, though.
I'll tell you, Tim Hires, what an outstanding job him and Andy Barquette are doing, the assistant hitting coach. They're both way in the background kind of guys. You never hear or see them. Done a tremendous job in transforming a lot of the players on this team's swing from last year to this year. How much better offensive production you're seeing out of almost every player on this team is due a lot to what he's been teaching.
Dribbler here, a foul ball by Wendell. He got their offense going with a double, and he scored a run in the first inning.
And JD in the lineup hasn't hurt things either.
No, it really hasn't. I think it's the theory of attack this year that's changed more than anybody's swing. I mean, nobody had to mess with Andrew Benintendi's swing. You have to touch that, or Mookie Betts' swing, or any of these guys. It's about attack early in the count. This is something they'd like Mookie to do more of. Again, get back to that.
Yep. But Mookie did make some adjustments to his swing this offseason. He was hitting too many balls on the ground. They were throwing him, I think they threw him like 150 more sliders last season than they did the season before. He was worried about hitting the ball too much on the ground. So they made a little launch angle adjustment. That's why you see him get the ball in the air so much more this season. What a talent.
Chilly with the bat at the moment, but as we talked about, there's a great confidence. This is a speed bump in the season for the Red Sox, as that's fouled away by Duffy, who singled in the first inning. They started the day with 3 consecutive base hits off of Eovaldi and got 2 quick runs. Then he got him 1, 2, 3 in the second. He struck out the leadoff man here in the third. And Choi on deck.
Using all of his pitches. And very sharp after the first few hitters of the first inning.
They've had pretty good crowds by Tampa Bay standards. Sure, it's relatively speaking, but 25,000 last night. 2-2.
We always know that when you come down to Tampa Bay, the majority of the fans will be Red Sox fans. But when that game was over, at the end of the game last night, there was a ton of Tampa Bay fans standing and cheering, as they should.
Yeah, their fans were noisy in the end. The 2-2 in tight.
This stadium's noisy. It's like a disco in here in between innings.
And then sometimes they'll get the cowbell going. Remember in 08?
Oh, yeah.
It was cowbell central. 3-2 fouled away.
Gotta have more cowbell.
No, you wanted to say less cowbell. A lot less cowbell. Because it's an echo chamber. 2-0 Tampa Bay. Eovaldi looking for that second out. 3-2. Got him to chase what would have been ball 4, but that was 99. they still have him.
Right on cue.
And the payoff pitch here to Duffy. Hammered toward the hole and through for a base hit. So Duffy's 2 for 2. This guy makes good contact.
Tuesday at 6:30, don't miss a Red Sox Game Day Live presented to you by DCU. Get a preview of Brian Johnson's start versus the Marlins. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you?
G-Man Choi with a base hit first time up. Tampa Bay with all 4 hits in the game to this point. He's hit 5 home runs, so occasional power, and he'll look at a strike.
This is a guy that's bounced around a little bit, hasn't really got an opportunity with a lot of organizations, but once they got him over here, they want to give him a chance to get on the field and see what he can do. And that's limiting the opportunities for C.J. Cron, who has 24 home runs on this team.
They hit a lot more home runs last season, and it didn't work nearly as well as their approach this year with fewer home run guys. So they've made that adjustment.
Down through the history of the game, all or nothing teams don't win very many championships.
In there for a strike. 97 at the top of the zone. 1-2. Duffy off the bag at first. Red Sox, of course, the reigning champions in the American League East 2 years in a row, 16 and 17. Red Sox have never finished in first place in 3 consecutive seasons.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? History.
Right now up by 7. 2-2.
Choi in the first inning, coming up there and bouncing one harmlessly up the middle, but no one was there because of the shift, and that drove in a run and put him in another first and third situation. And then I'm not sure what kind of dancing that is, but he was happy about it. Maybe he was just stretching.
Angel Hernandez came over at a quick chat with the first base umpire Manny Gonzalez. One out and one on, and a long look in by Eovaldi. Bounding ball, and that'll sneak through for a base hit. Rounding second on his way to third, Duffy. Mookie Betts gunning, won't get him. They're going to be safe on the corners. G-Man Choi is 2 for 2, and more trouble for Eovaldi here in the third inning.
These guys have been masters of playing baseball in their own home ballpark. They have hit the ball hard on the ground. It's one of the quickest surfaces in all of baseball here, how quickly the ball will get through the infield. And they're very aggressive first to third all day, all series.
They are replacing the first base bag. That was that conversation with the umpires. It's over. No idea why.
Might have been a little loose, poorly fitting.
A base hit by Choi. That'll bring up Tommy Pham, who struck out looking first time up, only one away. With Blake Snell on the hill, you cannot afford to get very far behind on this day.
Well, when the Rays score 3 runs or more for Snell, he's 14-1.
Got a runner at third and chasing Pham. Boy, they are uber aggressive against Eovaldi.
Well, they know him as well as anybody, considering he pitched down here for this team. They know what he throws, they know how he attacks, and they've got a game plan working right back.
They have all 5 hits so far. Into center field, dropping. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Another run is in. Duffy will score. And that will make it 3-0. 3 consecutive singles for the second time of the game in an inning. Not hit hard, but it found a home out there in center field on the artificial turf.
It's off the end of the bat. Doesn't have enough guts to get all the way out there to Jackie Bradley so he can catch it. Drops in for a nice hit. It's an RBI.
And Pham will pick that up. Singles by Duffy, Choi, Pham. No activity in the bullpen yet, but they are falling in against Eovaldi. And Jake Bauers will be next. He narrowly missed a home run with a sacrifice fly in the first inning.
And that's an interesting conversation that we just witnessed right there, and how much of that conversation was being led by Sandy Leon. And a lot of times when a pitching coach goes out there, he goes, look, I know what I see. Sandy, what are you seeing here? Is this stuff breaking? Are things, what's he doing? And he can relay that information, and then they all know what's happening.
Only 1 out, first and second. Bauers with the RBI last time up as he took Mookie Betts to the warning track and right. Boy, Eovaldi in the worst way needs a ground ball right at an infielder. And a 2-0 to Bauers. Popped up and fouled back our way in the count 2-1. Yankees will play the Orioles later on tonight. They've cut the Sox lead to 7 games. Choi at second, Pham on at first, and a 2-1. That'll even up the count.
See if he tries to get another cutter in on his hands. He's been pretty good at doing that.
Two. That one ripped toward right center. Mookie Betts on the move. He will make a sliding catch. Runners have to retreat to first and second, but that was hit right on the button. 2 down.
I think that ball got up into the lights a little bit on Mookie Betts too. He had to kind of hang with it, get lower, and make the catch. Watch Mookie's reaction as he's chasing this ball. It's an easy play for him to get to, but I don't think he saw it all the way, and then had to reach out there and snag it at the last minute. When you're in a bad slump, you hit bullets like that and they get caught.
With 2 out, Kiermaier, he's 0 for 1. He's popped up in foul ground at first base. He's only hitting 149 with runners in scoring position, and that's strike 1. He's the only player from the opening day roster or the DL who was on that roster when Kevin Cash made his managerial debut in 2015.
Signed him to a pretty big money long-term contract because of his defensive ability. Obviously hitting under 200 this season. He's a better hitter than what those numbers are showing, but this is a guy that they wanted to lock up because he can roam that outfield.
0-2. Sucked the other way, slicing away from Brock Holt. That is down and into the corner. He slides, can't get it. That's going to score 2 runs. Choi is in, Pham is in, and he has tripled again. Tampa Bay in front 5-0. Kiermaier slicing that one down the line.
This turf will make you do funny things the way you have to play the ball, because you get big bounces, strange bounces. This is going to come right at you. You can see what Brock Holt's going to have to deal with. That ball skipped away from him. It wouldn't have mattered if he tried to slide and catch this or not. It was going to end up hitting that wall, and it was going to be a bad carom away from him, allowing the 2 runs to score and allowing Kiermaier to get all the way to third. Talk about how tough it is to play left field at Fenway Park. Well, when you have turf bounces, it doesn't make it very easy either.
So the Red Sox trail 5-zip. Triples in consecutive games for Kiermaier. Drives in 2 with that one. And more big trouble for the Red Sox here at the Trop. This has been an ugly series.
I mean, that's a guy, when you're looking at Kiermaier, the numbers he's throwing up there, he's not a guy that you can let beat you in that situation.
Big swing and a foul tip.
Trying to badmouth him as a player. We know he's a terrific player, but he's having a bad offensive season. You can't put him in a position to be able to drive in runs like that.
At third with 2 down, 1-2. So Eovaldi has now allowed 5 runs on 7 hits. His last outing he gave up 10 hits and 5 1/3. Start before that he lost to the Phillies. Actually no decision in a Red Sox loss at Philly. He'll get the strikeout here, but they keep on scoring, now on top 5-0. Now new plans include access to potential 2018 postseason games. For more info, go to redsox.com/season tickets. Red Sox fans pretty quiet here inside the Trop. It is 5-0 Tampa Bay.
They've had to be quiet for 3 games down here.
Yeah, not much opportunity to make noise here.
Not something they're used to.
Mookie Betts 0 for 1, struck out looking in the first inning. Red Sox have only 1 base runner. That was Pierce taking a walk in the second.
And then he got gunned down. When we talk about Mookie and how aggressive he is, you look at him there, he's taking the first 2 pitches there, but neither one of those are pitches that you want to swing at anyway. So back-to-back changeups, not in a good spot to hit.
Here's the 1-2. And up the middle of base hit. He stung that one. Red Sox with their first hit today.
You can't fool him. You can't fool him. You throw him a couple changeups, you throw him a curveball, you get him 1-2 in the count. You think you're going to slip a cookie past him, and he hammers it back up the middle. It is a tremendous amount of ability to be able to read those pitches and either not get caught behind or get out in front on a breaking ball. He's a guy who rarely gets fooled at the plate.
That'll send up Eduardo Nunez, who is 0 for 1. He's fly to center. So Snell giving up a hit for the first time. Eduardo's got a little 4-game hitting streak and a pair of singles yesterday.
I had a long shot earlier today that hit it to the deepest part of the park and couldn't get it out of here.
Yeah, that was a little unlucky to hit it there. They've got that little angle out there in deep left center, extreme left center. That's about where he hit it.
Yeah, I mean, why doesn't the fence just keep curling right around there instead of that angle out there? Would have been a homer.
Kiermaier running it down. Not a tremendously difficult play for him. And the 0-2. That fooled him. Pitch down in the dirt, swinging him at strike 3 with a hook.
It's funny when we talk about Kiermaier because he went a long way to go get it, but then made it look easy when he got there. There's the bad breaking ball down in the dirt. Noonan committed a little early and couldn't hold up.
5 strikeouts for Snell. And brings up Xander Bogaerts. He is 0 for 1. He's tapped to second. With Steve Pearce right behind him. Again, J.D. Martinez resting today, getting the day off. The changeup, he got the strike on it. That's a tough pitch for him.
And we talked about Snell being sent down in August of last season for 2 reasons. They wanted him to be a little more consistent, and they needed him to grow up a little bit. They said he was kind of a goofy, happy-go-lucky kid. They wanted him to get a little more serious about the game, and he did that with the help of Kyle Snyder.
Betts taking off. Here's the throw down, the tag, and he's safe. Number 26 for Mookie to get into scoring position.
Good jump by Mookie. That was just flat out straight steal on a changeup down and away. A good pitch to run on, but I'll tell you what, this kid Perez can wing it. Mookie doesn't even look back. Complete straight steal. He's thinking about nothing but getting to second base.
Able to hang on with the oven mitt. And Red Sox fans for the first time today coming to life. Trying to get on the scoreboard here. Xander has been red hot with the bat. Sit safely in 7 in a row.
Dave, do you lend any legitimacy to the oven mitt actually adding maybe 2 to 3 inches onto your hand?
Absolutely.
So that maybe you're closer to being safe.
No question.
How much more does he have on that? Looks like about a good 3-4 inches longer than what his normal hand is. And if you reach in with your left hand, you're safe by a smidgen.
But how do you grab the bag? How do you hang on?
Well, all it has to do is make contact with it and then grab on with everything else you've got.
Everything else. 2-1.
You know darn well in the era of replay, all they're looking for is if that oven mitt touches the base before anything else, and then if you can make sure you stay on, that's an advantage.
We've noted this several times that Xander Bogaerts has carved up Tampa Bay all season, hitting .410 against them in 17 games. Two.
Climb the ladder.
Cut on and missed. He struck him out. Well, he likes his curveball. And back-to-back Ks on it.
Weapons, weapons, weapons. Look at that. You just talked about the pitch before that, the changeup that's been so effective for him too. That is nasty right there. On top of which he's got 98 in his back pocket if he just wants to try to blow you away. Very, very easy to see why he's one of the best in the game right now.
Steve Pearce took a walk in the second inning. He tried to advance on a wild pitch and he was thrown out at second base. 5-0 Tampa Bay.
Couple oddities on this pitching staff here. Blake Snell has actually the highest release point of any pitcher in the game. It's not the tallest, but the way he delivers the pitch is higher than anybody else. Another good look at Snyder. Don't miss WB Mason extra innings live right after this ball game. TC and Jim are going to break it down for you. And you'll hear from Nathan Eovaldi and Alex Cora. Who but WB Mason, celebrating over 20 years of same-day delivery. The other starter on their team, Tyler Glasnow, we've seen him a couple times. He has, when he lets go of the pitch, he's closer to the hitter than any other pitcher in baseball.
Well, he's got good stuff.
Yeah, and he's going to do nothing but get better. They got him and a couple other decent prospects for Archer and a guy that they really wanted to get rid of anyway.
I think a change in scenery will do Archer a lot of good.
They hope. And they're very happy with what they got back.
There's a lot of talent there. 2-1 outside. You know, I think one thing that's going to hurt Snell's Cy Young chances, when you look at innings pitched, when you look at strikeouts, he's not in the top 10. Obviously ERA and wins, though many will tell you that wins are not as important as they used to be.
Right.
You know, high up in those categories, right behind Chris Sale in ERA. 3-1. He thought about it, tried to hold up, but a strike, and it's 3-2.
Ask any pitcher if they think wins are important.
No question about it. Still very much for them.
A lot of indecisive swings out of the Red Sox. Too many things to look for. Snell's also a guy that will walk you if you give him a chance. He gets erratic at times. I'd take him.
It's a long line.
Yeah. He gets picked on my team.
3-2. A high fly ball left center field, driven back. Kiermaier, though, with plenty of room. On the back pedal, he's got it. Side retired. Red Sox get their first hit, but can't bring in the run. Every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv and take advantage of a special offer. They continue to work on first base in between innings, and they brought out the trusty duct tape.
Works on everything.
Everything.
Mr. Duct is making a lot of money
at home when one of the kids' bikes loses a wheel. Just duct tape.
Duct tape. Yeah.
That's all you got to do, and that's exactly what they did at first base. Been a little loose. Knocked down by Moreland several times and safe at first base. They had several cracks at it. It will be an error on Mitch Moreland.
Well, you don't see a play like that happen to Mitchy Two Bags down there very often. This is one of those classic stick a fork in it, follow it around, see what it eats. Wait till dark, sneak up on it. There's a million dumb lines about that. Bottom line is that's just one of those that you just can't figure out a way to get a handle on it.
So an error on Moreland. Boy, this series has been anything but clean. And Perez will be the batter as Lau is safe at first.
That's what happens, Dave. When this team plays so well and they win games, some of the mistakes that are made during the course of a ball game get overlooked. You don't have to talk about them because it doesn't hurt you. You make mistakes when you're losing games, they get magnified a little bit. That's not really a big deal. It's a simple error down at first base. Those things happen all the time. Just makes it look worse when you're losing games.
Just his second error all season. But a base runner. Joey Wendell, the leadoff man on deck. They have out hit the Sox 7-1. It's number 73 from Evaldi, and that'll miss up high.
Kind of leads you back a little bit to what Rick Porcello said, though. He said this has got to change and change quickly. We got to start cleaning some things up, start playing baseball the way we know how to do it. Everybody's got to look in the mirror.
Yeah, effectively he said 90 wins doesn't mean anything because the Red Sox haven't done anything yet. And he started with himself. I think that's what you expect from Rick Porcello.
That's where you get your credibility too. I'm not pointing fingers at everybody else. I'm starting with myself, and then I'm going to say, guess what? As a team, we all need to do better.
You're right. The only guy he mentioned by name is himself. Here's the 2-2 to Perez. Slap toward Kinsler. He'll go into second base, get the out there. That'll be it. That'll erase Lau, and Perez becomes the runner at first base with one away.
Watch the quickness of Ian Kinsler's hands on this turn. He's going away from the play, but watch how quick he turns back to second base to get that relay throw over there. The major reason why they brought him here was to nail down the defense at second base.
Are you as fascinated as I am by the talk the last 24 hours that Dustin Pedroia could possibly return this season to the Red Sox?
It would amaze me if he did. We know how hard he works in order to get back to try to play, and not many more guys that are a bigger gamer than Dustin Pedroia, and if he can do it, he will do it. But yeah, it's more surprise. I just didn't think he'd be healthy enough to even think about it.
And the Red Sox went and traded for a second baseman.
Right. The question then arises, if he does come back, does he get the playing time that he'd be hoping for with Kinsler over there?
Wendell goes up the middle for a base hit, his second. That'll put runners at first and second. Rays attacking again with one down.
Wendell and Duffy have been impressive in this series, setting the table for everybody else.
I don't know, that would be fascinating to see. Dustin Pedroia coming back and getting a chance to play again, because when he left, he was referring to this season in the past tense. When he went home to Arizona to begin rehabbing. Rehab must be going well.
Well, I think that's a tribute to how hard he works at it too. That he's not dogging it.
Now here's Duffy. He's been troubled. 2 for 2. He has scored twice, couple of singles. Another base hit may get that bullpen going.
You know, Dave, the concern for me with Pedroia would be not whether or not he can come back, but what kind of a player is he when he comes back. And you don't doubt Dustin Pedroia. You never have in his entire career, but he's older now. It was a serious injury. Is he the same guy when he comes back?
That gets under Leon. That'll advance the runners to the backstop. It goes. Perez down to third and Wendell into second. Boy, and these little things like an error at first base and wild pitch like this that advances the runners. I'm not saying they didn't happen before, but you're right, magnified because the Red Sox have been losing games.
I'll tell you what, a lot of stuff did happen. There's no question. This team hasn't been perfect. They've been really good at winning games, but there's always been mistakes. That mistake right there takes you out of a double play situation. Magnifies.
Infield in now. With 1 out.
Winning cures all ills.
And now the bullpen is up. It's Joe Kelly down the left field line. 5-0 Tampa Bay. They're trying to sweep the Sox here. Red Sox have caught the Rays when they're surging. Tampa Bay's won 7 in a row. Early in the season, they were a sticky opponent, and now they have improved as a very tough opponent.
I think they're going to do nothing but get better, too. Got players in their minor league system that are knocking on the door. They're going young. There's no question about that.
They're also playing with a lot of confidence, and they're having a lot of fun. You read their post-game comments. They're having a blast right now. 2-2.
And you know, one bad series does not a season make. I'll tell you what, the Red Sox have been having lots of fun so far this season either. I don't think there's any doom and gloom over in that dugout. They'll shake this off, go back home, and start over again.
That is certainly the plan. Got the Marlins coming in Tuesday and Wednesday. Fly to center field. Jackie Bradley space back there in the back pedal. He's got it. Tagging up Perez. He will score easily. Throw comes into third base, and it is 6-0. So Duffy will pick up his 34th RBI on the sacrifice. They've done a good job of producing runs on a couple of sac flies today.
A sacrifice fly that would not have been possible without the ball skipping through the legs of Sandy Leon. What a bullet Jackie Bradley threw to third base, too.
So man as second for G-Man Choi, who's 2 for 2. And he's driven in a run. The Red Sox have got to figure out a way to get Eovaldi back to the pitcher he was in the first 2 starts, because he's not been that guy in the last several. In 2 of those starts since he went 7 outstanding innings, 8 brilliant innings against the Yankees. In 2 of the starts since then, he's allowed 10 hits. Today 8 hits, and he's not going deep in games.
Well, you know, it's not his stuff. Sometimes it's pitch selection and mostly location. He's got good stuff out there. He's got a fastball that's 97. His slider's been breaking well today. His cutter's been good, but sometimes the location of those pitches have not been where he wants them to be. And if you can't locate, it really doesn't matter how good your stuff is.
Here's his pitching line, brought to you by Ace Ticket. And it's not about walking people. He doesn't walk anybody.
No. He puts himself in position where he needs to make a tough pitch, and then that'll be one where he leaves out over the middle of the plate. Kind of unable to put guys away.
Does have 2 down. If he doesn't get this man, his day's going to be done.
I mean, here's a classic situation. He's ahead 1-2 here. He's got a lot of things he can do. He can climb the ladder with that 97-mile-an-hour fastball, get Choi to swing at something out of the zone up. He can throw that hard cutter in on his back knee, which is a great option. But if you decide to do that, you can't leave that out over and let him get a good swing at it.
Wendell at second. 2 away and a 1-2.
Here's Joy in the first inning. Just banging that ball right up the middle. This was not hit hard, but because of the shift, it scoots in there. That drove in a run. This is obviously dancing time for Ji-Man Choi.
I bet either way it's his last hitter.
You're right. See, exactly what we're talking about. 1-2 count, back-to-back pitches that just kind of rolled in there. This needs to be a put-away pitch. 2 times in a row, he gives Choi an opportunity to put that ball in play. That ball's virtually right down the middle. That needs to be buried on his back leg somewhere. 2 chances to do it.
He put him away there 97 miles an hour to finish it with a strikeout, but another run up there. 6-0 Tampa Bay. Their commitment to helping people lead tobacco-free lives, moving us one step closer toward a tobacco-free generation. Learn more at cbshealth.com/be-the-first. Well, not going well here today. 6-0 Tampa Bay. We take to the top half of the 5th inning. And Red Sox with 1 hit so far against Snell. Base hit by Mookie Betts. He scalded one into center field and stole second base an inning ago, but nobody drove him in. Mitch today is fly to left, 0 for 1. He looked to hold up, and he did. Moreland and Kinsler, and then Brock Holt. And the 1-1. Popped up. Twisting foul third, playable for Duffy. Plenty of room. 1 out. Kinsler next.
Well, when a team's scuffling a little bit, the last thing you need to do is see the other team's ace, and he has been as advertised. The only thing that I've found wrong with what Blake Snell has done so far today is he has a strange number for a pitcher. When was the last time you saw a pitcher wear number 4? Just doesn't look right, does it?
The way he's pitching, he can wear anything he wants.
Anything he wants.
3-0 in ERA under 1 in his last 4 starts. That's since he came off the DL with a little shoulder fatigue on August 4th. He's yielded 1 run or less in 16 of his starts this year. He is legit.
And 13 straight at home. This is his 14th if he continues on. Ooh.
High fly left center field, but Kiermaier is there waiting on it. Kinsler retired, and there are 2 down.
That's what I've seen him do the best, is that when he throws his fastball, he's got that extra giddy up on where guys just can't quite square it up. It gets in on them a little bit. They get off the end of the bat. They can't hit it where they were trying to hit it. We've seen Pierce hit one deep but didn't get it all. That one right there by Kinsler looked like he had a good swing at it, but he just gets off the barrel. That is a good looking swing on a pitch that you would think would be hittable, but he just does something to get you off the barrel.
Brock Holt 0 for 1. He struck out first time up, and you know he's got a big enough lead where he could pretty much just throw fastballs for a while.
And that's what he's doing.
Sox with only 2 base runners off him so far today.
I just think that this is one of those games where you can complain about it all you want. Oh, the Sox are looking terrible. They got swept by Tampa Bay. You know, maybe they didn't look all that great in the first 2 games, but this game right here, they're getting taken out behind the woodshed by this guy right here. This guy's beating anybody today with what he's throwing.
Slider in for a strike, and 1-2. Sandy Leon would hit next. Two down, bases empty. He looked to hold, and he did. No swing.
Side view of that nasty breaking ball in the dirt. Holt says, I gotta just hang on there. That one was close.
Snell trying to make it a 1-2-3 5th inning. And he does. A foul tip to the mitt held by Perez. He struck him out. Red Sox go in order.
Wow, it's just a string of hits against the Red Sox right here. Duffy singles, then Joy singles and dances. Pham single up the middle off the end of the bat, and then the big blow. Kiermaier for the second day in a row with a triple. This one squirts down the left field line. Took a funny hop out there, rattled around, and everybody comes in to score. And the outlaw ends up on third.
And Tampa Bay with a 6-0 lead as we take it to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Joe Kelly replacing Eovaldi. Only lasting 4 innings, 6 runs, 8 hits against Eovaldi. Joe tossing his scoreless 8th inning on Friday. And has posted a 1.42 ERA his last 13 games. Here's the cleanup man, Pham. Has an RBI hit, and he has struck out looking. This was kind of a quiet pickup for them from the St. Louis Cardinals. A guy the Cardinals gave up on, who last year hit .306 with 23 home runs and stole 25 bases.
Yeah. What you said he finished in the MVP voting like 11th or something like that. That's a darn good player in the game, and next thing you know, hey, here he is.
Well, that was a year ago. Didn't have the same numbers this season necessarily, but looks like a really good player, and he'll punch a base hit to right. His second hit today.
Tuesday at 6 o'clock, don't miss Red Sox first pitch, presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. They'll have a full preview of the 2-game series between the Red Sox and the Marlins.
That'll be Brian Johnson in game number 1, and David Price in the second game on Wednesday. Wednesday games at 6:35 if you hold a ticket for game 2. David Price going after his 15th win.
Is it David Price's birthday today? I heard someone say something about that.
It is. Oh, he got a pick. Out at first base. They cut down Pham. Joe Kelly with the pick.
It's a strange pickoff because I don't think Pham was trying to steal. I think he was just getting his secondary lead, but he, watch him. Ooh, that was almost a little bit of a balk move by Joe Kelly. Kind of raised his head and then threw over to first. I think it's completely legal, but he totally decoyed Pham.
So 1 out for Bowers. Bowers has hit the ball hard twice. Wants to drive in a run. Sac fly in the first inning and a deep fly, and then he lined out to right. Rays with 9 hits. Red Sox been held to 1.
Watch Joe Kelly on the pickoff. See that? Kind of raised his head up almost as if he was going home, and then spun and picked the guy off. I like it.
The 2-1 roll toward first base. Fair ball. Moreland will collect that and get the out. And there are 2 away. You can get expert emergency care at Fenway without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. The first aid station is located behind section 12 on the lower concourse. Make sure you visit bidmc.org for more information. Kiermaier has popped up and tripled in a pair. He's tripled in consecutive games. This place would be a lot noisier and a lot more lively if the Red Sox were scoring runs and playing the way they played almost all of the season to this point, because there's so many Red Sox fans here.
It's almost like a home game when you come down here.
In there for a strike.
Except for the fact that this place isn't all that nice, and Fenway Park is the mecca of baseball. That's what makes Fenway an awesome home game.
I will say this about Tropicana Field: when it's 100 degrees and it's lightning, thundering out there and raining cats and dogs, I like it a lot more.
Even with those. The 4-ring circus.
Nobody on, 2 down. Here comes the 2-1.
Have we shown our obligatory shot of the Ray tank out in right center field? You always have to see that, don't you? And there it is.
You can go out there and pet them if you want.
Would you?
No. But the kids love it.
Yes, they do. I don't think that's one of those attractions where you can swim with the Rays.
Not advise that. 2-2. And bounced up there and stopped by Sandy Leon. So count is full on Kiermaier. Adames on deck.
He was acting like he was going to hit that ball that Kiermaier threw out of play.
Sox down 6-0 in the 5th. And he will walk him. So Kiermaier will take ball 4. That is the first walk issued by a Red Sox pitcher today.
Joe Kelly on the 3-2 count. You see the grip on the baseball right there. Decides to go with the changeup, but he can't get anybody to bite.
And brings up Willie Adames, who has tapped to second and struck out in this one.
Adames has got a lot to live up to with that nickname, doesn't he? The kid.
Certainly when it comes to Boston fans.
Oh yeah. And for Seattle Mariner fans. Ken Griffey Jr. came up being known as the kid for a little while.
Have you seen the documentary that's out on Ted Williams?
I have not.
I haven't either. Somebody sent it to me, and I'm really dying to watch it. It's supposed to be outstanding.
You got a pretty good subject matter.
What a life. Drilled foul out of play by Adames.
Ted Williams was such a perfectionist. He was literally world class at nearly everything he touched. Fly fisherman, photographer. I did one of the last coherent interviews with him right before the '99 All-Star game, and what he told me was that by far his greatest accomplishment was being a naval aviator.
And World War II and Korea.
Went back. Lost 4 of the best years of his playing career, the prime years of his career. Can you imagine that?
We have no doubt he would have hit 700.
Oh,
you know. But
proudly, that was important to him.
Proudly served his country.
Yes, sir. His greatest accomplishment of all the things that he did. That's saying something.
Here's the 2-1.
I tried to get him to tell me that he was the best hitter who ever lived. He wouldn't do it. He said that he wouldn't feel bad if people watched him walk across the street and they said there's the best hitter who ever lived. He said, I'm not going to say that ever.
Well, he talked a lot about Babe Ruth, you know, as when he was a young hitter, and Ty Cobb and some other guys.
Willie Mays he loved.
Sure.
Joe D reluctantly, only because those guys didn't get along all that well. He certainly respected his ability.
He could have backed into hitting 400 in the doubleheader last day of the season. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go out and win it legitimately. And he went 6 for 8. I just think that's one of the great Ted Williams stories I ever heard. Runner goes. Ground ball to Kinsler. And he will flip on to first base in plenty of time to get him. It is still 6-0 Tampa Bay. At Fenway, first 10,000 fans receive a Bet's Puzzled Cube presented by Citgo. For tickets and more information, visit redsox.com/promos. Rays on top 6-0. Red Sox trying to cut into that against Blake Snell. Sandy Leon 0 for 1. He's grounded to short. Jackie Bradley and Mookie Betts will follow. Mookie the only man with a hit today in the 4th inning.
Snell has made quick work of the Red Sox as well. Just 70 pitches.
He struck out 7. He's walked only 1. An activity in the Sox bullpen. It's Heath Hembree. So Snell has pitched as advertised. 15-5 coming in. His ERA is exactly 2 now. And they have scored for him. 2 runs in 1st inning, 3 in the 3rd, another run in the 4th.
We already talked about that when they scored 3 for him. He's 14-1.
And he's walked another man. They'll put on Sandy Leon to begin the inning. And Jackie Bradley coming up. Marlins coming into Fenway. Red Sox still have not announced a schedule for Chris Sale, who has been missed. You knew he would be.
Oh yeah.
Jackie struck out first time up. He is 0 for 5 in the series. Heard a lot of conversation about obviously the Players Weekend, but the bats that guys are swinging, different styles and different colors.
Paint jobs.
Paint jobs, yeah.
Little black and gray stripes on that.
Yeah, kind of liking that one.
This looks like snake skin.
I don't know if the Red Sox are ever going to want to participate in Players Weekend again, however. The way it's gone the last 2 years, they haven't won a game. Hot shot, that's fair with a bag down the line. Sandy Leon heading for 3rd base. Jackie Bradley rumbles into 2nd. And the Red Sox for the first time today have something serious going on. Nobody out, 2nd and 3rd.
Jackie finds one he likes right on the inner half of the plate. A little bit of a mistake pitch. He'll take it all day long.
So Snyder coming out to talk with Blake Snell. Until this point, there had been no reason for these two to have a conversation. A walk, a double, and Mookie Betts coming up. We'll see if Mookie has fought his way out of his slump by ripping that base hit in 4th inning.
Got to find a way to get to him somehow at this point. The Red Sox offense, the way we have seen it, would lead you to believe that this game is nowhere close to being over with a 6-run deficit. But got to figure a way to get to Snell somehow or get him out of the game.
He's sitting at 76 pitches. During yesterday's game, JD Martinez jumped over Mookie Betts in the batting race for the first time. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out.
Now on that double by Jackie Bradley Jr., Sandy Leon did an odd thing. Watch him go back to first. This ball's hit. Watch him go back to first. Whoop, head back that way. He started to, and I think his thinking was that if they fielded that ball, they'd step on first and throw to second to get him out, and he was just going to stay. Let him step on first, try to throw to second, then he'd step back on first base and be safe. It's a deft move. If you can pull it off, you rarely see it. And Sandy knew that if the ball got by him, he's only going to get to third anyway, and he did.
A ball and a strike on Mookie. And on at third, Jackie Bradley at second. There comes the 1-1. JD Martinez began the day, of course he's resting today, hitting .337, #1 in the American League. Mookie Betts .335 right behind him. Then it's Altuve at .331. Luke foul out of play. JD has more hits than any hitter in the American League. 160 hits.
That's a lot of hits. Got a long way to go.
#1 in total bases, #1 in RBI, #1 in multi-hit games, extra base hits, slugging percentage.
Sound like MVP numbers to you?
A little bit. Two. High fly ball left center field, driving back Kiermaier. He's lining it up. It's Leon the runner. He's tagging. Here comes the throw, and that's cut, and the run is in. The Red Sox are on the scoreboard. Mookie Betts will pick up his 65th RBI. He drives in Sandy Leon. So the Red Sox finally breaking through here in the 6th inning. And they make Blake Snell pay for the leadoff walk. That'll bring up Nunez with a runner at second base and Jackie Bradley.
We've been talking about that a lot this series, how leadoff walks have come back to hurt teams. Most likely this series it's been the Red Sox. Walks or hit by pitches. First run in 14 innings.
Nunez hit the ball very hard in the first inning. He flied out to deep center field. Since then he has struck out. So 6-1. Red Sox trying to fight their way back into this thing and avoid being swept for the first time all year. Off the outside, he missed. 2-0. Has not been as sharp in this inning.
When he has problems, it's usually command. He starts to walk guys.
Bogart's waiting on deck.
Nooney's got to be looking for one thing right here. Fastball middle in. Don't be late.
Two and one.
Instead he gets a changeup middle in. Good discipline really to not swing at the pitch.
Now Mookie Betts with the RBI. Here's a bounding ball up the middle. Wendell, an off balance throw, a slide at first base, but he's out nonetheless. Down to third, Jackie Bradley. Nunez hoping to beat that. He saw that throw sail a little bit, but it got there in time.
Yeah, I think he was sliding more than anything to avoid any kind of collision if they came off of first base there to make an attempt to catch that ball.
So a man at third. Bogart's trying to pick him up.
We haven't seen a lot of it in this series, but for all the problems that Jake Bauers has had at the plate, he's in a deep slump right now. They say that this guy will be a perennial Gold Glove winner at first base. They say he's unbelievable with the glove over there. Hasn't had too many tough plays so far in this series.
Xander slices that one foul. He has grounded out to second and struck out today. He's been the Red Sox hottest hitter along with JD Martinez. 7-game hitting streak. 370 in his last 14. Snell attempting to limit the Red Sox to just the 1 run. First 2 men reached on a walk and a double.
One of the big issues with maturity for Snell was the fact that he didn't throw that many first pitch strikes last year. From 13 of 21 first pitch strikes in this game, which isn't a tremendous average, but those numbers have continued to rise for him. He's always had the ability to, with his secondary pitches, to get you out even if he's behind in the count.
97 and a tough pitch right at the knee. 0-2.
It's not one you want to have to try to hit. Bogey doesn't even attempt.
You're going to win a lot of games if you can make that pitch.
And then he comes back with that changeup. About 8 inches further out on the black. So he's trying to go in on Bogey here.
Xander is going to be very sad to see the season series come to an end with Tampa Bay. 410 against them with 16 RBIs. And 12 doubles against them. The most ever against the club in a single season. Bradley off third and the 0-2. Trying to hold up, but he got fooled on the curveball, which has been a deadly pitch for him today. Strike 3, 1 run in. Pretzel bites and Steve's favorite, he can't live without them, waffle breaded chicken tenders. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. It's a limited time offer.
How can you not like them?
That's what you keep telling me. Smile there from the young left-hander as he contains the Red Sox, holding the Sox to 1 run despite a walk and a double leading off the 6th inning.
It would have been nice to be able to pick up that extra run that was on third base there.
Keith Embry coming on, 55th appearance, a 3.88 ERA. He becomes the third Red Sox pitcher today. Nathan Eovaldi, 4 innings, 6 runs, 8 hits. He's the starter.
Embry's nickname Heater here.
Brandon Lau has grounded out and reached on a rare error by Moreland at first base. LOWE, but goes with Lau. Mid-season, he was ranked by MLB.com as the #1 prospect in terms of outfielders. #9 prospect in the organization. Good power too. 297 in 100 games between AA and AAA this year. 22 homers, and he's driven in 76, or drove in 76 in the minors. And a 2-2.
Yeah, everybody wants to get called up to the big leagues, but that's a 100 RBI season if they leave him down there and let him finish it out.
Diego Castillo, the right-hander, throwing in their pen.
Started against us on Friday.
It's a different world.
Yes, it is.
Talking about Tampa Bay and what they've done with their pitching staff. But it's working for them. Right now, they're the hottest team in Major League Baseball. There's a funny chopper to the left side. Funny bounce, and no play for Nunez. And safe at first is Lau. The base hit, all sorts of spin, crazy spin on that one. Red Sox season ticket plans for 2019 are on sale right now. New plans include access to potential 2018 postseason games. For more info, go to redsox.com/season tickets. Tampa Bay with a 7-game winning streak. With a win today, they would go to 9 games over 500. Nobody thought at the beginning of the season they would get anywhere near that.
And if this holds up, we're talking about half of the wins in that winning streak against the Red Sox. All the talk in spring training about the Rays and what Kevin Cash had to explain to his younger players why we were getting rid of all the veteran players and how were we going to compete at all. And the fact that younger guys were going to get opportunities to play, nobody thought that they'd be able to put it together this quickly.
0-1. You know, the Red Sox for most of the season have had their way with them. Today's the last day of the season series. Red Sox are going to win it fairly easily, 11-7 right now. But they're a different looking ball club right now, much tougher opponent than they were, you know, back in April. Actually, back in March, the season began. Going to begin earlier next year. Bounced it up there. Nice scoop by Sandy Leonson. No advance behind a runner Lau.
Yeah, before you know it, pitchers and catchers will be reporting day after Christmas. Another good job by Sandy right there.
Now out, 1 on. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-1. The Rays in front. One team they've been very tough on has been the Yankees. They're 8-7 against New York. Still have another series against them. Yankees playing the Orioles tonight on Sunday Night Baseball. 2-2. It was not a long day for Nathan Eovaldi. Only 4 innings. And now he's on the hook. Red Sox will try and figure out how to get him trending the other way. Got off to such a tremendous start for the Sox, his first couple of starts against Minnesota and then the Yankees. Start against the Yankees, he beat them 4-1. He allowed only 3 hits in 8 innings. There's the 2-2.
For a while there, he ran into some trouble because we just didn't see the depth to his breaking pitches. The cutter and slider weren't there. Today he did have the depth to those pitches. It was just bad location on many of his pitches today that got him in trouble.
There's no question he's got very good stuff. Here's the 3-2. Runner goes. Struck him out. Here's the throw down, the tag, and he's going to be safe. So you get the strikeout of Perez. But Lau will pick up second base on the theft.
No problem for Sandy right there. That base was stolen on Heath Hembree. He's a big guy, a little slow to the plate on that pitch right there, and it's an easy theft. Oven mitt.
Amica Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, and life insurance. Just his second stolen base. Would you have worn it?
The oven mitt? It looks really uncomfortable, doesn't it? But yeah, for the extra 3 inches, I think.
I meant for baking, Steve.
Oh, well, I'm a great cook. Got to tell you, I have 2 of them at home. You can't go digging in there into your oven for a nice tuna casserole with just 1 oven mitt. You won't be able to pull it out.
I didn't realize that was your favorite, the tuna casserole.
Sure.
You got to try that for the crew now. If you're going to brag about it,
I'll bring one in.
Wow. I don't know whether to be impressed or what, but I'm dying to try it. Big swing and a miss here by Wendell. Good day going for him with a double and a base hit.
General consensus in the truck was they would be scared to be trying.
a lot of wise people down there, I think.
I can make other things. Not a one-trick pony now in the kitchen.
I mean, you're talking up the tuna casserole, so I say bring it on, big fella. Your oven mitts. And a 1-1. He lunged and fouled it away. And Duffy on deck, top of their order. In fact, their top 4 hitters have kind of given the Red Sox fits today. Wendell, their leadoff man, a double and a single. Duffy has 2 hits and an RBI. G-Man Choi with 2 hits and an RBI. And Pham, the cleanup man, with 2 hits and an RBI.
And all the runs scored out of those guys.
Lau, the runner, at second with 1 gone. Red Sox have been out hit on the day 10-2. And the Rays going for a sweep. Here in the late days of August. Here comes the 2-2. Came inside at 96 and he fought it off.
I wonder if any of the Florida connection guys on this Red Sox team got back to their old stomping grounds in Lakeland, Florida. Steve Pearce, Chris Sale, Brian Johnson, all born in the same hospital in Lakeland, Florida. Kind of a unique thing on one ball club.
I would say yes. What are the chances?
The other kid that started against the Red Sox yesterday, Yarborough, when he got traded here, he bought a house in Lakeland, Florida.
Swing and a miss and a pitch down into the dirt, and Leon will finish it by firing on to first base. So back-to-back Ks. Wendell down hacking. Duffy coming up.
We saw one ball scoot through Sandy's legs today, but boy, that's not really the story. The story is how good he's been blocking balls back there all day long. That's a nasty pitch to try to keep in front of you.
He does that so well. Among many other things, I saw one survey recently that had Sandy Leon as the #3 pitch framer in Major League Baseball. Duffy is 2 for 2 with an RBI on a sacrifice.
What's the computer matrix thing that judges that?
Well, that I'm not completely aware of. I just saw the numbers on the survey.
I think one of the things that Sandy does so well back there is the strength of his hands. You know, framing a pitch is really presenting it maybe a little bit better than the way it was pitched. And if you just catch it with a strong hand, you're not moving, you're not jabbing at it, you're just letting it get there, and you're giving the umpire an excellent look at it.
Presenting is actually the term they want to use. As a line drive and a base hit. No play for Moreland. Down the line it goes. It'll bring in a run. Lau will score. Play at second. Here's the tag. He's safe. 7-1 Tampa Bay. And Duffy continues to be a handful. His third hit today, his second RBI.
Well, you can understand why he's been hitting 300 all season long. He dipped below it just a little bit, went into a little bit of a slump after the All-Star break, but he's back now. 3 hits today, driving in another run. Sliding in at second base. The throw was a little bit high, and Duffy easily under the tag.
A rare feet first slide these days.
Hook slide.
So he's down to second, 7-1. Well, he's a good hitter.
Finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting back in 2015 when Chris Bryant won it.
Choi flares that one down the left field line. Foul on a play.
It came out of nowhere in San Francisco there. They didn't have a third baseman when Pablo Sandoval left and came to the Red Sox. They weren't sure what they were going to do. Duffy showed up and kind of took the world by storm that season.
Choi with an RBI single in the first inning, singled again in the third. Well, this series has been no fun. Red Sox down 7-1. Usually they have dominated getaway days, day games.
Not so recently.
Right.
Actually.
Yep. Numbers have been great all season long, but not as great as of late. Foul back to the net.
Highlight of the day has been watching G-Man dance at first base after he gets his singles.
Certainly for Tampa Bay, that's the highlight. Overshift on, 3 men on the right side against him with a runner at second. And another one down into the dirt. It's been a busy day for Sandy Leon.
Well, did you miss Nesson Clubhouse this morning? Well, you can catch a special encore presentation today after the Red Sox postgame coverage to discover the technology that gives Mookie Betts the edge in his swing. Don't miss a special encore presentation of Nesson Clubhouse today after Red Sox final on Nesson.
Duffy at second, 2 down, 2-2. Another stop by the catcher.
You know, these shifts that everybody uses now present some interesting problems for certain players on the field. When you look at where Nunez is, he's the only guy on the left side of the infield, but there's a guy on second base and a guy that can run. Nunez has to be extra special careful and very much aware of what's going on. You can easily steal a base if you find yourself out of position, or if you don't, after every pitch is thrown, you have to walk towards third to make sure that you're covering in case there's a delayed steal, or just, you know, there's not a whole lot of room between those two guys right there, and he's got to beat him to third base if he tries to steal.
Here's the payoff pitch, and he will walk him. Third base runner in the inning for Tampa Bay, first and second. They're a dangerous hitter in Pham. And Levangie is heading out for a mound visit. Red Sox will have tomorrow off, and the way things are going right now, they're going to welcome that day off. And then it's the Marlins coming in Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's the extent of the homestand.
Yep. Get things back on track.
Brian Johnson Tuesday night.
Choi's having so much fun. He even dances when he gets a walk.
Okay.
Don't know how to describe that one.
Not sure exactly what that is, but first and second. Pham with 2 hits in this one. 1 drove in a run. Boy, they've had a lot of base runners today.
Too many.
2 down and 2 on. When you look at the schedule, I mean, coming up in September in particular, Red Sox have a lot of home games still to play down the stretch. That is fouled, up and out of play. 15 of the last 21 will be played at Fenway Park.
That's a good thing. Play so well at home. They have all season long. I think one of the amazing things that the Red Sox did this year was they had a brutal road schedule in the first half of the season, and they won so many of those games. They were such a great bad weather baseball team. Cold days, rainy days, ugly days, and they won so many of those games.
In sub 40-degree weather at Fenway Park.
It was the one day that Sale pitched, said it was the coldest day he ever played, ever, any game, ever. Of course, he dazzled in that one.
Red Sox opened the season right here at Tampa Bay, then went to Miami before coming home to Fenway for many of those cold games. Sox got their West Coast trip out of the way early. Not true of the Yankees. They've still got Oakland, Seattle to come on the West Coast.
They'll get one of their West Coast trips out of the way really early next year. Opening up in Seattle.
Sox will, yeah. Here comes a 1-2. Runners at first and second. Couldn't get him to chase it.
Go right back out there again with that pitch. Throw him a pitch that's enticing enough to swing at, but isn't a strike. And that's not going to do it. That's 2 in a row. They're so far off the plate, you're not going to get anybody to think about swinging at it.
Well, now the runners have the advantage. They can take off. Workman is up. Count is full. And the 3-2. Runners go. And a high twisting pop into right field for Mookie Betts. And he is there to make that catch. 1 run in, 2 men left. presented by Rodenheiser Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electric. Earlier, TC and Jim highlighting Mitch Moreland on the Rodenheiser Heat Zone. And Jake Bauers, who has been cold, but he does have an RBI today. So Castillo back on the bump as we go to the 7th inning. 7-1 the Rays. And Steve Pearce to lead it off. A walk and a fly out in this one.
This guy can rush it up there 100 plus.
.6'3", about 240 from the Dominican Republic. We've seen him in both capacities, out of the bullpen and starting as an opener. Bounding ball and Fairbairn third. Duffy will skip it over there, and a nice job there by Bauers to hang on to the bag and get the out. One away.
Tough play. Duffy skipped this ball on purpose, but he got a little more air under it than he wanted it to, so he got a little bit of a short hop to Bauers. It made it a much more difficult play for him. Watch him have to kind of squat down and then pick it. Nice.
One away, Mitch Moreland. Mitch has flied out and popped up. 0 for 2 today. But does not have to deal with Blake Snell anymore. He went the first 6. He struck out 8, gave up 2 hits and 1 run. He's in line for his 16th win. And he did nothing to steal away from his Cy Young candidacy today.
It's now 1 or fewer earned runs in 14 straight starts at home.
That one fly to left center. Kiermaier's on the move. Plenty of space. 2 up, 2 down. Time for our refreshing finish, brought to you by Coors Light.
Well, who do you think you're going to see there? It's going to be Blake Snell striking out guys on that blistering fastball right there to Mookie Betts, and then Kinsler. There's the breaking ball to Brock Holt, and then another fastball to Jackie Bradley Jr. As we talked about, he had 8 strikeouts during the game, but he just had that little extra where guys either couldn't square it up or couldn't catch up with it.
Ian Kinsler has struck out, flied out. Sox have been held to 2 hits all day. Ian at 240. You look at his total numbers along with the Angels and the Red Sox. Here comes the 0-1. He was a hot hitter at the time of the trade. And still, even in a little bit of a slump here and an injury, he was 3 for 18 on the homestand. Last 24 games, he's hitting about 350. He pops that one up very gently to Bauers, and that's a fast inning as he cradles that 1-2-3, go the Red Sox. Baseball on Nesson brought to you by Toyota's official website for deals. BuyAToyota.com. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Nissan's year-end savings. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Well, from a beautiful day outside, not so beautiful inside for the Red Sox. Down 7-1 as Tampa Bay looks to sweep. Red Sox have not been swept all season long.
How about that? A lot of times you say you love this stadium when it's stormy outside and you can come in here and make sure that you're not going to have a rain delay. But today, beautiful day outside and the ugliness was inside.
Well, that's been the case. The Red Sox will go back to the bullpen, and Matt Barnes about to pitch to 5, 6, and 7. He'll become the third reliever to be used by Alex Cora today. Again, a day off on Monday. Red Sox will have that at home. And 2 quick games against the Marlins on Tuesday and Wednesday. Not many smiles from Sox fans at the moment. So Bauer's about to lead it off. He drove in a run in the first inning. He's gone 0 for 2 today. And Barnes to take over on the hill. Matt with a 2.62 ERA. Got the win on Wednesday night against Cleveland with a perfect 7th inning. Needed only 11 pitches.
Now Barnes has been good. Barnacles is his nickname.
Tampa Bay jumped on Nathan Eovaldi in the very first inning. First 3 men and hits off him, and 2 of them scored. Then they got 3 runs off him in the 3rd inning. And after 4, he was done for the day, allowing 6 runs. Tampa Bay got another in the 6th inning. Kittredge is up in their pen. Barnes falling behind. Here's the 3-0. And he will take that strike along the outside at 95 to fill up the count. I mentioned Miami coming in. It's been a long time since the Red Sox have seen the Marlins.
Yeah.
Got to go all the way back to the 5th game of the regular season on April 2nd in Miami.
4 games down here against Tampa Bay and then zip down to Miami.
And that'll be ball 4. And so Bowers is on to begin the inning. Time now for our high strength steel play, brought to you by New England Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado.
Kevin Kiermaier. Back-to-back nights with big time triples that scored runs. This one's shot down the line. Brock Holt couldn't come up with it. G-Man scored. Another run scored, and Kiermaier ended up on 3rd base. Not too often you see a guy get a triple down the left field line, but because of the way that ball bounced off the turf and then off the wall, he was able to scamper all the way in.
Kiermaier 1 for 2 with that triple. Red Sox began the regular season by losing here on opening day. As the bullpen fell apart in that one, Red Sox would lose 6-4, and then they would rip off 9 consecutive wins. They won the next 3 right here against the Rays, then those 2 at Miami, then took care of Tampa Bay in 3 straight at Fenway before destroying the Yankees in the first meeting of the year, 14-1. Drop in there for a strike.
I know TC, Tom Caron, loves to talk about the way the schedule was built this year, and the simple fact that the Red Sox played the Yankees, or will have played the Yankees, in every month of the season. So you never get too far away from them. There's always the excitement of having them around. Kind of a good way to do it.
1-2 into the dirt. Another scoop by Sandy Leon.
I'm a big proponent of the schedule and how it lays out in front of you as to how well you can play. Sometimes you're a victim of playing teams when they're really, really hot, or sometimes you just have a tough schedule the way it's set up in front of you, and can win or lose games based on how your schedule is. I don't think there's any question about that.
2-2. Well, the next meeting with the Yankees will take place at Yankee Stadium on the 18th, 19th, and 20th of September. And again, the last 3 games of the regular season. 28th, 29th, and 30th of September.
Could mean a lot.
3-2. He struck him out. So Kiermaier down, hacking. Time for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's TC. And 5-game winning streak for the Blue Jays. Tom, thank you very much. Red Sox still with another series at home against Toronto middle of September, but done with Tampa Bay as of today. This is it.
Good riddance.
Yeah, the way they've been playing.
I mean, there's an example right there. I mean, if you come in and played a 3-game series against Tampa Bay a month ago, you don't get the same team you're seeing right now. Schedule.
Adames is 0 for 3. He is grounded out twice and punched out. 7-1 Tampa Bay. 11 hits for them, just 2 for Boston. He went chasing there to pitch down into the dirt. That good curveball.
He's got a good curveball. That's one that just disappears on you, and you think it's going to be a strike, but it isn't. I was just thinking about that game break, and how much fun would it be showing up at the ballpark for more than a week every day. You're hitting a home run. Morales.
Yeah, Kendrys Morales.
Goodness.
Certainly he can do that. He hasn't had that kind of a season where he's really piled up a lot of home runs this year.
But 8 in a row.
Yeah.
That adds to it pretty well. Yeah, the Major League record is 9, isn't it? 9 straight games. I want to say maybe Don Mattingly is involved in that.
Don Mattingly and
someone else.
Before that, Ken Griffey Jr. maybe.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Either one of those guys.
Yeah. I could be wrong on both accounts. It just seems like I remember Mattingly.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. He got him. Back-to-back strikeouts here by Barnes. And they'll send up Brandon Lowe. Did some damage his last time up as he singled, stole a base, and scored a run on a double by Duffy in the 6th inning.
There's been some questions that have popped up when you talk about the Red Sox bullpen and who's going to solidify things, but not really about Matt Barnes. He's been one of the solid members out there that continues to get the job done when they bring him in.
Among American League relievers, he's 2nd in holds, 4th in strikeouts to innings. 14. He's punched out 2 men after walking Bowers here. In the 8th, the Red Sox would have Dewap, Holt, Leon, and Bradley if anybody reaches Mookie Betts, who has one of the 2 Red Sox hits today. Here's the 1-0.
I'm being sent a message by well-respected journalist Mike Shalin, who said Dale Long has been a hitting coach in the big leagues for the Yankees and other teams. Was the first person to do 9 home runs in 9 consecutive games. Then Mattingly and Griffey. You're right on top of it, my friend.
That is some streak.
It's a good week and a few extra days.
Say so.
Probably not getting an off day the next day. It was 8 home runs, 8 consecutive days is what it is, not 9.
Nor would you want an off day. Pounded in there at 96. Bauer's on at first. And a 3-1 for Matt Barnes. He's outside. Just walked a couple of men.
Yep. That's not what he wants to do. Been that kind of 3-game set here for everybody.
And the offense really has been shut down. Red Sox lost game 1 10-3. Yesterday 5-1. Trailing in this one 7-1.
We were a little flummoxed in that first game that they didn't have an extra base hit, but at least they banged out 13 hits. There hasn't been a whole lot of anything since.
You knew today was going to be uphill against Blake Snell under any circumstances.
Yeah.
Whether the offense was firing or not, it was going to be tough, but he was really good. They got him some early run support, and he can win it. Bauers at second and Lau at first. And 1-strike pitch from Matt Barnes. Toward right field. Plenty of space out there. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Bauers will score. Lau is rounding. He's going to score into second base. Perez has himself a 2-run double, and it really opens up now for Tampa Bay as they take a 9-1 lead. The doubles keep on coming.
Check out pitch location. That's usually where you can find issues, but this one wasn't too bad. Out over the middle of the plate, but it's knee high. Just went down there and raked it out of there. A good looking young player. And it seems like Rays have been running around the bases for 3 straight days.
They have been. Another big lead. 2 down for Wendell. He's looking for his 3rd hit today. So Tampa Bay in great shape to make it 8 consecutive wins. It really hasn't mattered much who's on the mound for the Red Sox in the series.
Nobody's really been able to get it done the way they'd like to when they head to the mound.
12 hits now for Tampa Bay, and in there for a strike.
Well, if you looked at the box scores of these 3 games, you'd be hard pressed to pick out the team that has 90 wins.
Yeah, Razor playing very impressive baseball right now. One punch to the shortstop. Xander Bogaerts collects and gets him. 2 more runs in, though. 9-1 Tampa Bay at the end of 7. Hospital for every Red Sox homer this season through the end of August. Use your Speedy Rewards card when you purchase 3 cooler beverages and receive 1,000 bonus points. Tampa Bay with a big 9-1 lead going to the 8th inning. They'll bring on a new hurler, Andrew Kittredge. He was up with them last year for the first time from the minor leagues. He has a high ERA in limited duty. And Brock Holt, first man in against him. Red Sox down 9-1, out hit 12-2. And a high pop up. Twisting around third. Duffy with a play. Says he'll take it foul ground. Brock Holt over 3 here this afternoon. 1 gone in the Sox 8th. And Sandy Leon will be next. He has scored the only Red Sox run here today after walking in the 6th inning, eventually driven in by Mookie Betts on a sac fly. And again, by race standards, not a bad crowd at all today. 23,443.
Very nice.
Swinging early, Sandy Leon with a pop up. Again, it's Duffy. Almost the same spot. 2 down. Next up, Jackie Bradley.
You know, it's easy to say in this ball game, and we're deep into it now, that there hasn't been a whole lot of life. But at the end of the day, when you're not getting a lot of hits, nobody's on base, you're not scoring any runs, where's the life going to come from? I mean, these guys, we've seen Sandy Leon busting his tail behind home plate, trying to block everything in sight. We've seen guys in the field trying to make plays, just not swinging it very well.
Blake Swihart has come to the on deck circle. And would hit for Mookie Betts. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Jackie a double and a strikeout.
This was a day when you sort of looked at who might be in the lineup. And considering JD doesn't like 2 days off, I was thinking maybe Mookie might get the day off. JD would be in the lineup.
Appears to be just fine though there.
Yeah, certainly hope he's not making this at bat because there's an issue, but maybe just AC wants to get him out of there.
You'd guess that if there were, he wouldn't be on the bench. Mookie with a base hit, stolen base, and RBI. But not much else for the Red Sox offensively. And that's going to be strike 3. Swung and missed. Jackie thought he held it, but he's down on strikes. Red Sox go in order.
The Red Sox are
Take over in right field for Mookie Betts. And Craig Kimbrell needs some work. He has not been used in 8 days.
Wow.
So Alex Cora wants to get him in, even though the score is 9-1.
And Alex doesn't generally like to do that. He doesn't want to put him in a situation where he's not in there to save a game, but you have to get some work. You can't be hanging around for 8 days and not pitch.
Last time he pitched was on the 18th of the month. He picked up his 37th save against Tampa Bay. Red Sox in that series, they won that series. They did not see Blake Snell, but they had to see him today, and he was very tough. As anticipated, 6 innings, 8 Ks, 2 hits, 1 run. In line for the win.
I don't think they want to see him again. Not this year.
Will not have to worry about it. It's the last game of the season series. This guy has been a pain, Duffy. He has 3 hits. He has driven in 2. He scored 2. Now up to 300. And this series for the Red Sox can't end fast enough. Oh, 2. Got off to a bad start today with 2 runs right away in the first inning. Leadoff man Wendell doubled, Duffy singled, Choi singled,
danced. And
he did. He's been dancing all day. And Bowers drove in a run with a sacrifice fly, and they were off to the races. And that'll be in there for strike 3. Came hard with a curveball at Phantom. 1 away. This is our cricket something to smile about moment.
I'll tell you what, the Rays had a great series. They got a lot to dance about. Carlos Gomez. There's G-Man getting it done. Same dance every time he went down to first base. We're not sure what it is. Maybe that's something out of Fortnite.
And batting here, a couple of singles, a strikeout and a walk.
I'm going to see if he dances his way back to the dugout after a strikeout.
Tampa Bay's ripped off 7 in a row. And they've turned into a much better baseball team than most people thought possible with all their losses that we've detailed over and over this year. That's a strike on the swing.
Well, you know you're the man when your nickname is Dirty Craig, and you can wear that on your back on Players Weekend.
No swing there.
Dirty Craig, and he is dirty. Speaking professionally as the way he pitches, by the way.
I think the Sox have enjoyed some of the individuality and the creativity for Players Weekend, particularly with shoes and bats.
They have not enjoyed the games during Players Weekend either time. Not last year, not this year.
They were swept by the Orioles last year, on the verge of being swept by Tampa Bay this year. Going to have to try something else next time if it continues.
Come up with a new wrinkle.
Pham on deck. 9 runs, 12 hits for the Rays, 1 run, 2 hits for Boston. Red Sox will be heading home to Fenway after the day off on Monday, which I think they're going to covet, and look to get back to their kind of baseball on Tuesday. And there for strike 3.
No dancing. No dancing. This is dirty. This is Dirty Craig right there. Come on. But he had 2 check swings and then took the final one. He had no chance of hitting them.
So Kimbrell, despite not being used for 8 days, back in there to strike out the first too many faces in this one. That brings up Pham, who is 2 for 4. And quite late on that 98-mile-an-hour Swiftie. Here's the 0-1. Sox only home for 2 games against the Marlins, and then right back on the road to the great city of Chicago, taking on the White Sox 4 times, and also Atlanta on that trip. And the Red Sox will be seeing the new ballpark there in Atlanta for the first time.
And I've heard it's fabulous.
And that will include 2 day games. And a long homestand after that. Oh, he went after it. 98 miles an hour. He strikes out the side. Didn't show any rust there. Xfinity, a short one for Nathan Eovaldi, just 4 innings. He gives up 8 hits, 5 of the runs earned. Snell went 6. He struck out 8. He can win it, of course. Duffy 3 for 4. And so in the 9th inning, it'll be Blake Swihart to lead things off, and he hits in Mookie Betts' spot, batting for the first time in this one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nunez on deck, and then Bogart's scheduled to bat. He got jammed big time. Bowers will scoop and get him 1 away. Red Sox have not been swept all season long. Pretty amazing when you look at that date, the 26th of August, and it has not happened, but looks like it's going to happen here today to Alex Cora's team. Down by 8 with 1 away in the 9th inning. Tampa Bay has been going in the other direction. It would be an 8-game winning streak for them.
Playing very good baseball. Kind of a fun team to watch now, too.
Nunez is 0 for 3. Lines that one. He's got himself a base hit.
Boy, he has blistered some balls today. It went to the deepest part of the park. Couldn't get it out of here. Hit a couple other line drives that were absolutely crushed. Look out. A chuck and duck right there.
Leaping effort by Wendell, but he couldn't get it.
Pitcher's ducking. The second baseman's jumping.
That, however, is the Red Sox 3rd hit all afternoon. And that's the thing that really jumps out at you in the series. The pitching has not been good. pitching has really been so good for the Red Sox all season long, but the offense has been stagnant.
Yeah, that's the thing that's got to turn around a little bit. And it will.
Xander Bogaerts 0 for 3. Well, about to take on a Miami Marlins team that is last in the NL East with 78 losses. And the White Sox for 4 games in Chicago, but they've lost 79 games. Runner taken off on a pitch into dirt. No stolen base, but Nunez down to second. And the count 2-0 on Xander Bogaerts. Rare quiet day for him. He has a 7-game hitting streak on the line. Snapped in there, 2-1. Brian Johnson goes on Tuesday night 7-10. And on Wednesday, David Price going for his 15th win. He's pitching as well as anybody. Fouls that one out of play. Xander Bogaerts 2-2.
His pitch mix right now and the location that he has is outstanding. Talking about David Price. Change up, his cutter. Anything he wants to throw, he's spot on.
Red Sox in need of good performances from those 2 left-handers back home at Fenway. Mini homestand of just 2 nights and then on the road again. Here's the 2-2. He thought about it, but he stayed away. 3-2.
Bogey's going to sell out here, look for something dead red and hammer it. His last at bat of the day before he hops on a plane and goes home. Figures, why don't I just smoke one right here?
He's hit 19 home runs. Grounds that one, yanks it to third. Duffy up and over. Holding at second, Nunez, 2 gone. And Steve Pearce coming up. He's 0 for 2 with a walk here this afternoon. Nunez at second base. For most of the season, it's been a completely different story. It's been the exact opposite. The Red Sox had handled Tampa Bay, but Rays have handled the Red Sox this weekend. Season series about to come to an end. Sox are going to win it regardless of this, but Tampa Bay looking to take the final 3 meetings. And a 1-1. Ground ball up the middle. Wendell, plenty of time. The scoop, and that will do it. And for the first time in 2018, the Red Sox have been swept by an opponent. Tampa Bay wins all 3 resoundingly here today. TC 9-1.